LeBron James, already a 16-time All-Star. And when the first wave of fan votes for this year's All-Star teams came out yesterday, not surprisingly, LeBron led all Western Conference players in voting. Which matters because, according to a league memo shared with teams and obtained by Adrian Wojnarowski, the NBA and the Players Association are expected by next week to have finalized an agreement for not just picking all-star teams, which the league was always expected to do, right? You need those for contracts and everything else, but hold an actual all-star game on March 7th in Atlanta. Per the memo, the single-night event will encompass the game as well as the skills competitions, and so LeBron was asked about all this last night. And LeBron was not pleased last night. Take a listen.
I have zero energy and zero excitement about an all-star game this year. I don't even understand why we're having an all-star game. But it's the agreement that the Players Association and the league came about. Short off season for myself and my teammates was 71 days. And then coming to this season, we were told that we were not having an all-star game. So we had a nice little break. 5 days from the 5th through the 10th, an opportunity for me to kind of recalibrate for the second half of the season, my teammates as well, some of the guys in the league. And then they throw an all-star game on us like this and just breaks that all the way up. So pretty much kind of a slap in the face. We're also still dealing with a pandemic. We're still dealing with everything that's been going on. And we're going to bring the whole league into one city that's open. Obviously, the pandemic has absolutely nothing to do with it at this point when it comes to that weekend. Obviously, you guys can see I'm not very happy about it, but it's out of my hands. And, I'll be there if I'm selected. But I'll be there physically, but not mentally.
Wow, a lot there. A slap in the face, LeBron James says. Now, Vince, you were an 8-time All-Star, and you also were an All-Star over the time. I just want to give context here. The league evolved, where they used to just sort of throw you into the All-Star game, throw you back at your teams. Then the Players Union negotiated having a few extra days on each end. Right. So the guys who were All-Stars could at least also get a break. That's not going to exist this time either. It's really just a 4 or 5 day stretch to be off from your regular schedule, and they want these guys to fly to Atlanta. How would you feel if you were LeBron?
I would feel just like he feels, because think about this. You're asking these guys to have a quick turnaround, shorten off season to get back in. And obviously money is involved. So if you come back, you make your money. Okay, cool. You agree with these guys that that's when I had bounce back then, by the way. Yeah. But you agree with these guys.
I saw you last year, Vince. You still had bounce. Continue.
A little bit. But you get these guys to buy into coming back, and you're promising them that they will have 5 days off, no All-Star game, and you can utilize that time to, obviously to catch up with missed games. But these guys came into the season, particularly Lakers and the Heat, feeling like, hey, this will be the chance where they can kind of relax and play catch up to everyone else who had some time off. And now all of a sudden you're saying there's an All-Star game, and I'm here in Atlanta, and it's open. You're free to do whatever just about around here. So I understand the concern, and when you bring the whole entire league here, or at least All-Stars at risk. I mean, you're talking about all the All-Stars, all the best players from the best teams coming into Atlanta. I don't know, So, and then and one more thing I want to add to that, and that you're hearing other guys, and I hear some people saying, oh, De'Aaron Fox and whatever, saying what he had to say. All of these guys feel the same. It's like they don't feel safe. Clearly, that's what it is. And somewhere there's some miscommunication between players and the union, and it needs to be fixed.
Well, absolutely. And one word comes to mind with me, and it's the word trust. The word trust, because the players trusted the NBA and the Players Association word when they gave it to them before the start of the season, when they told them that it wasn't going to be an All-Star game or All-Star weekend. And so with that being said, when you look into it and look at how the players sacrifice so much, a short turnaround, guys not being able to have a full training camp, and said, you know what, we'll make the schedule early and make Christmas Day. We'll make the Christmas Day game happen, because we know how important this is to the NBA. We know how important this is to fans and to everybody, the Christmas Day game. The players are sacrificing a lot, being stuck in their hotel rooms, testing daily to make sure that these games happen. And on the flip side of that, games are still getting postponed. So everyone is still figuring things out for us dealing with this pandemic. and yet you have an all-star. You just throw in an all-star game, an all-star weekend, just on the spur of the moment, without really having no real communication. It breaks the trust. This is why you get things in writing. This is why you have to have things under contract because of situations like this.
You know what, Perk? I've learned that even when you get something in writing, that doesn't always mean anything.
Yeah, this is a fact too. That's a fact too. But hey, I want to add one more thing. And you know, you want your product, the NBA product, to be at its best on the second part of the season, because that's leading into the playoffs and in the playoffs. So you want these guys to get as much rest as possible, so you have your best player and your best product on the floor to show the world, especially being like it is now. You don't have a lot of fans. So the basketball, Perk, you would agree, has been very competitive and very good.
Yeah.
So don't mess with that. Don't mess with that, you know?
And I don't want to pretend like anyone's digging ditches in the NBA. Everyone is very privileged and they're traveling on private planes and in a privileged way. That being said, just to give an accurate idea of what is going on and different this season, teams now are being asked to test on the morning of games super early so that those results are back before tip-off. Because remember, we had a couple examples early in the season where results came back when a guy was already on the bench, and they were trying to avoid that. That means some teams travel the night before, get in, have to wake up, test at 6 a.m., then have their whole schedule and game day. Again, not a hardship in the grand scheme of things, but to give context to what these guys are doing every day right now and why that 5-day break might have been more important to them. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.